Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vitvaram. We are seeing the teachings from Bhagavad-Gita Chapter 16, Daiva Asuri Sampat Vibhaga Yoga, differentiation between the saintly and the sinful characteristics, virtues. In that context, in the last session, we saw that Gurudev introduced the subject matter saying, the saintly virtues do not promise you any paradise, nor the sinful traits would abandon you to hell. These are all considered as observations at the physical, mental, and intellectual levels of behavior. And we all of us have, each one of us have the ability to overcome our own sinful traits by knowing how they are dangerous. And they can be replaced by saintly virtues. And we saw a few of them. Abhayam sattvasam shuddhihi jnana yoga vavastitihi Dhanam damascha yajnascha swadhyaya tapa arjavam. The fearlessness, the purity of heart, firmness in knowledge, being generous for charity, self-mastery, sacrifice, self-study, austerity, and honesty. These are the 9 virtues that are enumerated in the beginning in one single verse by Lord Krishna. These are all available to all of us, and they are found in all the saints. Not only those very virtues have helped them to reach their saintlyhood, but at the same time, they also effortlessly express those virtues which for us to emulate. As you have seen, as we already seen before also in 13th chapter, values are those which we give importance to, we respect. When we respect love, we do value compassion, we do value the sincerity, truthfulness, honesty. What we value when it becomes our own behavior, our own nature, then it becomes virtue. The distance between value and virtue is a question of practice. We want others to be honest to us. We want others to love us and respect us, to be compassionate to us. But how far we are able to retain those values in us uncompromisingly. And when we uncompromisingly hold on to those values and we make it make them part of our own life, then saintliness will naturally be there. In the following slide, we see, furthermore, another 9 virtues are pointed out by Bhagavan Krishna. Ahimsa, non-injury. Non-injury is not just merely not hurting somebody physically or by words or by thought. It is more of a deeper understanding than a superficial avoidance of injury, where we get a thought of anger, thought of hurting someone, and yet we don't do it. That is not ahimsa. It is to know the presence of God in all, and therefore one has decided not to hurt the other person, because hurting the other person is hurting the Lord. Hurting the Lord who is in his or her heart is the same God or presence of God who is in my own heart. So hurting him is as good as hurting myself. Scolding her is as good as scolding on to myself. Injuring another living being is equal to injuring oneself. We don't want to injure ourselves. We don't want to hurt ourselves. It is not just not causing a physical injury. That is the reason why Vedanta, Yomam Pashyati Sarvatra, Bhagavan Krishna says, Yomam Pashyati Sarvatra Sarvam Chamayi Pashyati. He who is seeing me everywhere and everything in me is called a saintly person. Tasyaham na pranashyami sachame na pranashyati. He will never forget about me. I will never forget about him. Meaning, a saintly person is one, or the saintliness is that where the individual never forgets that in everyone there is only one homogeneous, continuous, eternal, infinite, everlasting, compassionate Lord present. Even in an insignificant small atom, small worm, or a gigantic dinosaur, in all of them there is one presence. That presence, when it is known, there is obviously natural ability to not injure anyone, either by word or by action or even by thought. And the nature of this reality is existence, truth. It is said that a person who is seeking the truth does not ever settle down for anything superficial. Mahatma Gandhi took these two as his most important pursuits of his life: Satyam and Ahimsa. Both are given here. Truthfulness and non-injury. This truthfulness is not just speaking the truth or just repeating what others have told you. Find out the truth of what you have heard, seen, and then understand its nature, and then you can reveal to others. See, when I fail in my own personal disciplines, whatever I need to do in everyday life as my sadhana, whether it is japa, chanting, or puja, worship, meditation, when I fail, who knows that I failed? Do I need somebody around me all the time to tell me that you have failed, you did not do it? See, when we become spiritual seekers, we become aware of our own faults, our own misgivings, our own setbacks, our own limitations, our own weaknesses. Nobody needs to tell us. And when we cover up our own weaknesses by saying, oh, I was tired, therefore I couldn't do it. Oh, it is okay, I don't do it one day, so what? Bhagavan is not unhappy if I don't do puja one day, so what? See, this is what is called being untruthful. So, striving to remain in what is true, what you have committed to yourself, is what you are going to stand by. So, not taking anything at the superficial level. Even if you hear something about someone, do not just repeat it. He told me about that person and therefore I'm going to tell you. No, find out. You don't need to pass on the message unless it is found truth. Satyam vada, priyam vada, hitam vada. Find the truth of everything. That is the nature of science also, is it not? Science does not take anything for granted at the superficial level. They want to find out why. What is the cause for it? What is the reason? Why it is happening? But this does not mean you take everybody's words and go on searching. No, not necessary. What is relevant, what is useful, what is important to you, in that you spend your time and find out the truth of it. Where we are worried about what he or she said, why this or that happened, that is a sheer waste of time. Instead of that, do self-inquiry. Why is my mind getting upset sometimes like this? Why is that I get angry with certain people when they behave that way? So find out the cause in yourself. Find out the truth of it and accept it. When the fault is yours, accept it. So this self-honesty and that finding out the truth of a thing, that is what is here called Satyam. It is said in the Upanishad, Satyena panta vitato devayana. The truth, the path towards reality, moksha, is laid out by the bricks of truth. So that is the reason why Mahatma Gandhi said, I will remain as much as possible honest to myself, honest to everybody around me. I will only speak truth. And that very truth sometimes may hurt somebody also. But when I speak about the truth or speak the truth of a thing, I make sure it doesn't cause disturbances around me to the people. But if it has to be told, I will tell. That was the principle with which he lived. The third one in this list here, in this screen, is akrodha. Akrodha means absence of anger. That's one meaning. But anger cannot be without an attachment. What causes anger is usually something which we hold dear to ourselves, very dear to ourselves, which becomes unavailable to us, or there is an obstacle while pursuing it. So, anger cannot be overcome unless we overcome intense desire or attachment. Not getting angry does not mean remove away from that person or a place where you get angry or from whom you get angry. So if I am fighting, if I have a difference of opinion with someone, and not to see that person, avoid that person, go away from that place, that is not a krodha. Find out the cause of this anger. Why am I getting? Not only in a particular situation, what is the common thing that makes me angry? Some people say, if things are dirty, I get angry. Now, it is not a particular person or a place, anywhere. Such a person lives by his own limitation. He gets upset or angry. Why? Because nobody had really caused it. Nobody had made him angry. But in general, because wherever he sees dirt, he'll get upset. Then who's the particular person who could be a cause for it? If it is dirty, go and clean it. Or tell the people who are supposed to clean that place. That's it. Getting angry is what? That you are disturbing yourself, agitating yourself by yourself. If I see somebody eating non-vegetarian, I'll get very upset. That doesn't mean that in the world nobody should eat whatever they want. Is that what you want to dictate? So when we generalize the problem and we keep on putting limitations to ourselves, we cannot live peacefully. World is made of varieties. So what is the common factor that is causing this anger? That you find out. Instead of going after the person or a particular reason of a situation, it is not situation based. It is not depending upon a person. It depends upon you insisting on something. So do not avoid confrontation and that consider that as you have overcome anger. No. Your anger may have a deeper cause. Find out that. Only when you have found out the negativities and impurities that which you have, then only you can do tyaga, letting go. This letting go is not just giving up things and beings around us. It is not a sannyasa in the form of renouncing everything. Many times we will give up a particular thing or a particular behavior just for a short term. Just to impress somebody or to escape from some issue, problem. But here, tyaga means for good. Not having the sense of possessiveness about things. When I have a sense of mineness, identification strongly with the thing, I cannot give up. The most difficult thing to give up is your notion about yourself. I am a good person. I am great. I am the most smart person in the world. I am beautiful. I am the most respected among anybody. I am the learned. This kind of an idea about yourself, that is the most difficult to give up. And the problem is when somebody did not recognize or did not accept about that person, you will get so upset. It may be anybody. So letting go is not only things than the other things which I have a notion of possession about, but also my own pet ideas, pet opinions, pet viewpoints. If I belong to a particular political party or if I appreciate a particular political opinion and somebody else is opposed to that, I get very upset and angry. I cannot let go. Why? Because my pet opinion is disturbed. See, that also can cause inside you a lot of agitations. And next time you see the other person, you will brand him or her as, oh, that one, I don't want to talk to him about anything. Why? Because he has that opinion. So what? It is not that you are worried about his opinion. You are not able to give up your opinion. You have created a cocoon about you. You have put a wall around yourself and you're living in that wall or within the bubble. You cannot let go. You cannot come out of that. So the idea of possession, the pet ideas, pet theories of your own, which you are not ready to give up to accommodate new perspectives, new views of a different kind, you are not able to accept them. Only when we have ahimsa, satyam, akrodha, tyagaha, then only there is peace in our mind. So even non-injury, it is said, the universe is not for one man alone, but is a theater of evolution for all living beings. Live and let live is the guiding principle. Ahimsa paramo dharma. Non-injury is the highest religion. So when we have ahimsa, satyam, akrodha, tyaga, then our mind is definitely relatively peaceful. And only a relatively peaceful mind can turn its attention away from the world and start traveling within. This traveling within is not a physical activity. It is a withdrawal from thought to the substratum of the thought, from mind to consciousness. It is like when you are in a quiet place, the noise external is no more. But internal noise of the mind will be still there. If the mind is able to even reduce that noise of thoughts in your mind, then you start appreciating the silence more and more. Even if there is an external silence, and if the mind is disturbed, you cannot enjoy that. But if there is not only external silence of no sound, but also your mind is not having too many thoughts, then your silence will become deeper, much deeper, and it will lead you to stillness. The Shanti is more of turning the mind's attention away from the world, but at the same time going deep into yourself to reduce the number of thoughts and be there in the stillness of the consciousness, to the source of the mind itself. It is not just an external quietude. It is said, Munihi, the very word Munihi means Manana Shilavan Munihi, Mauni Munihi. Mauni means one who has found inherent, everlasting silence within. Such a person who has found inner silence, he's not just keeping quiet, he's becoming deep within himself, in that stillness, in that attunement with the consciousness, in the oneness with everything. When you see another person in your life who has understood you in and out, let us say, who knows you in and out, in your negativities you knows, and your positive virtues you knows, he has a complete understanding of yourself. In that person's presence, you don't need to utter a word. Is it not? When he smiles at you and you smile at him, both of you know that you are in tune with each other. There's no need for you to speak words. In the same way, one who has tuned himself with that consciousness, the presence of the Lord within, he remains quiet. And such a person finds the presence of the Lord who is in everybody's heart, and he starts tuning to that Lord who is present in the heart of everyone. So when he meets another person, he may not say a word, but he will look at that person only to tune himself to the Lord who is sitting in the other person's heart as well. That is peaceful. So it is said that anything that costs you your peace is too expensive. We do all sorts of things only to be happy. But being happy and being peaceful is totally two different things. You know what? Particularly what happens is people think when I'm happy, I'm peaceful. When I'm happy, I'm very peaceful. No. When you're peaceful, you are happy. The other way around. Because happiness, cost to buy anything, can create new thoughts and new desires or new wants or new thought about repeating the same happiness. Let us say I have an ice cream and I'm happily eating the ice cream. You mean you think you are peaceful? No. Next variety, another brand or another flavor. Oh, that flavor I didn't try. I tried only vanilla. I wanted chocolate also. Next time I will have chocolate. I will have two. Day after tomorrow also I will. So mind is running, not peaceful. Or you accomplished something, you succeeded something, you won something. Even in that case, oh, this I have got. Next one I want more. Mind is not peaceful. Whereas a person who has found deep within oneself the silent presence of that Lord who is present in everything and tuned to that, such a person is inherently happy, unreasonably happy, causelessly happy. That is real peace. Others are all too expensive. And such a person does not want to create any unnecessary disturbance in anybody's mind. Apaishunam, not being slanderous. It is not just avoiding gossips. Everybody is subject to making some mistakes. If everybody is perfect, you will be in heaven. You will be in the abode of God. We are human because we are born out of mistakes and continue to make mistakes. And this life is an opportunity for all of us to overcome that. It's a correction facility. I often would say that this living in this world is living in a correction facility where we are given a lot of opportunity to correct ourselves. But in the process, instead of correcting ourselves, we are very busy correcting everybody else. Why is he doing that? Why is she doing this? Why he behaves like that? Why she behaves like that? And if, get a chance, talk about it. Talk about him, X about A to B, B to C. But that is not just avoiding gossips, but when we understand that everybody is likely to make mistakes, not that they will make mistakes, likely to make mistakes. As much as I am very likely to make mistakes, nobody is absolutely perfect. I know what mistakes I do, what blunders I have committed so far, or what are the likely, blunders I may commit. I know it. There is a lack of certain perfection in me. And so if I can forgive myself, my own mistakes, if others make mistakes, why do you need to talk about that? There's no need. Everybody is on the way to become better, hopefully. If they are not doing now, today, tomorrow they will do. At some point of time, everyone would understand that he or she alone is the architect of one's own life. Nobody else is making it. Until that maturity comes, people continue to make mistakes. Allow them. If they come to tell you and confess to you saying that I made mistakes, please tell me what I should do, then you may probably tell them. But please understand, even when you tell them, it is not necessary that they will take it up seriously and then correct themselves. No. So there is no need for us to. So gossip ends at a wise person's ears. When a wise person hears a gossip, he doesn't pass it on. Is it okay? That's what I heard. There's no need for me to talk about it to anybody else. In such a person alone can create confidence and trust in others' mind. See, when I tell you a gossip, what is my expectation? Yeah. That you will tell somebody else, and from there, that person will tell somebody else. So I want the gossip to move on. I will tell you something. I don't want it to stop. You need to tell someone, and then it goes. That is how it's become interesting. But if you tell a person who doesn't speak about it to anybody, you lose interest in telling that person. I told you this. Will you tell everybody? Yes. Then I'll tell you more. And on the other hand, if you say, if somebody says, I'll tell you this something, will you tell everybody else? No. Then what's the point in telling you then? So wise man becomes free of all the gossips because when it comes to him, everything stops. So apaishunam, not being slanderous. And it is because he has bhuteshu daya. Yes, so much of tenderness, love for all living beings. It is not loving only one's own near and dear alone. That anyway we love because they are my sister, my brother, my husband, my wife, my child, my parent. That is blood relationship. Only at the level of kaya, body. See, when I love my parents, that is natural because I am born of them. I love my sister or brother, natural because they are from the same blood, same family, same cousin, sisters, brother, all that. But when you love a friend, love here means you have concern about a friend. There comes a certain amount of openness. You open up from being merely loving your own blood relationship. You are started to relate yourself to someone who does not have the same parents, sister or brother. But then, why do you love a friend? Because there is something common interest between you and him or you and her. Commonness is found. There is some amount of alignment. But then a saint's friendliness is different. Ahetuka daya sindhu. It is said, Ahetuka daya sindhu. He is a causeless compassion. Why? Because he understands that God's grace is there in everybody. But only thing is they are not opening up to understand that. Just like the sunlight is everywhere, and if you are in a room and all the windows are shut and you cry in darkness, whose problem is that? What is that you do to a person who is saying, oh, it's all dark here, what do I do? Hey, let me help you open the windows. Then you will see the beauty of the sunlight coming in. In the same way, grace of the Lord is always there, but we have closed our minds. So a saint's tenderness, daya, is only to make people open up to God and showing that God's grace is present in all of them. That is called bhuteshu daya. Not only human, all living beings. If somebody is crying out of some sadness, out of some, unfortunate situations, the Mahatma or the saintly people are not there to remove the situation of the person, but to remove the weakness of the person who is unable to lift oneself up. Bhagavan Krishna says, Uddared Atmana Atmanam. You lift yourself by yourself. Open up. He will help you open up to you for you to discover it yourself. It is like you have a physical weakness and for which you go to a doctor to get some medicine. Is one thing. You have to go to the doctor and then get some medicine so that your physical strength will come back. But when you go to a gym, there is a trainer there. What he would do is he'll make you strengthen yourself by yourself. You are absolutely weak, then you need a medicine. But you are weak because of your own laziness, you need a trainer. Right? The trainer makes you discover your own strength. In the same way, the saintly people are those who are there to make you realize what you can do to overcome your own weakness. And that's what Krishna did to Arjun. Find out you are strong, hey Arjun, but you are not doing the right thing to discover that. Bhuteshu daya. Next one is aloluptvam. Not having any greediness. Having no intent to own up or possess somebody else's wealth. So alolutvam does not mean merely, okay, I am doing none of my business. I am taking care of my business. I'm not interested in anybody else's. That is not called aloluptvam. Aloluptvam is to realize that by wealth, by worldly prosperity, you cannot find liberation. Nasti tada sukha lesha satyam. Even an iota of real happiness is not there by wealth. See, I'm not saying that wealth is unnecessary here. That is not the intent here. The intent here is to make you realize that wealth is only temporary happiness. Wealth is not absolute. See, I have told you this before also. If I take an Indian rupee and go to a local shop here, what can I buy? What can I buy? I take 100 rupees or even 2000 rupees I take, Indian rupees, and go to a local mall to buy something. Can I buy something? You cannot. Why? It has no value here. Okay, I go to a deep Amazon forest. You may say, oh, American dollar you can buy anywhere. Okay, fine. If you take an American dollar, $100 you take, and go to a deep African or Amazon forest somewhere, and go there, and there are people who are there living, tribes who have never seen money, physical wealth. So what I mean by that is currency notes. And then you want some fruits, and you give him $10. You look at you strangely. What is that? Where is she going to give me, or what is that you are giving me? What is that thing? I don't know. You want fruit? I will give it to you, but don't give me anything which I can't use. If you are giving him a weapon or some cloth or some other thing, you may say, okay, good, I will use it. But you are giving me some paper. What is of that? What use it's for me? See, worldly wealth can give you only worldly joy to some extent. Similarly, see, for example, if you want someone to love you, really, really love you, can you give some $10? Please, I'm giving you $10. Please love me. Is that possible? I'll give you $50. Love me, please. Is it something which you can transact with money? Of course, what I mean by love here is not a Las Vegas love. Real love, emotional love, feeling. So you may get temporary happiness with money, but not freedom, but not liberation. So understand, money has its own value for a limited purpose, yes. Knowing the limitation of the worldly wealth and not overly engaged in that, not greedy about it. That is what is called aloluptvam. Not just confining, okay, this is my goal. I do not want anything else, only this. This contentment is not aloluptvam. It is to recognize the uselessness of worldly wealth in the pursuit of moksha, liberation. Then comes mardavam. Mrudu means soft. Mardavam means gentleness. Gentleness does not mean merely speaking softly. When you are entering into an aircraft or flying from some one place or when as soon as you go into that, and those air hostesses or attendants, they'll speak very soft. Yes, sir, please come, sit down. This is your seat. And yeah, can I put on the fan for you? Okay. Do you want coffee or tea? These are all soft. They are gentleness. That's what we think. But that is not, that's only a deal. Because that is their profession. That's their job. They have to do it. But gentleness here in this context means while living in the world of relative existence, becoming sensitive about others' feelings and emotions. You cannot be harsh and hard-hearted. People have, basically, every one of us are product of our own experiences. My experience is different from your experience. When I look back in my life and I look at things that had happened in my life that had made me who I am, I'm aware that certain things are very harsh that happened in my life. Certain people were very inhuman, extremely brutal, hard to deal with. And I have dealt with them and they have shaped up me as well. As much as there are people whom I have met who were very soft, very gentle, extremely sensitive about my thoughts and feelings, accommodated my inhibitions, setbacks, negativities, shortcomings, and yet they loved me. They also shaped me. So I got beaten up by both. Beaten up means shaped up by both. People who are harsh to me, hard to me, people who have been soft and gentle to me. But when I become what I am, I have become what I am, I look back and see who really helped me to feel good about myself, that I can proceed, that I can achieve, that I can accomplish. I'm somebody important. I invariably realize that those people who did not handle me very harshly, those who did not talk ill of me, or those who did not, make fun of me, those who have understood me, those who suggested good path, those who have helped me walk in the right direction, they are the people who really made me who I am. So if you have understood that, what should be your attitude towards others? If you really want to help someone, become aware of that person's feelings, emotions, and make sure that you are making that person overcome that, not by strict rules, by gentle guidance. No doubt, strict rules will help one to become disciplined for a short period of time. But only deeper understanding can help a person to maintain the discipline. So it is necessary for us to become sensitive to others' sentiments. Especially, you take your own mother, for example, very sentimental, very emotional, extremely, having faith and devotion apart, but becoming too, the love in the form of attachment comes. Calling you and finding go whether you had your food or not, whether you are sleeping okay or not, whether you are keeping healthy or not. So whether your father or mother, whatever. So when they ask you so many times, you feel that very annoying. Why are you? I know that I am taking care of. Why are you asking me so many things again and again and again? Then you are not sensitive. Because from that person's standpoint, for your mother, you are the world. For your father, you are the world. They have worked so hard and only to make sure that you are okay. So when you become sensitive to that and aware that, such a person is thinking about me, a person is really caring for me. So you become sensitive. When you are handling them, be very, very soft. Don't be harsh. In spite of the fact that unnecessarily she's worrying or he's worrying, it's okay. Let them. That is their world. Be aware of that. Admit it. So that is what is important here. Gentleness. Successful people are always looking for opportunity to help others. Unsuccessful people are always asking, what is in it for me? So help others through becoming aware or becoming sensitive of their own feelings and emotions. Slowly guide them to come out. Nobody can overnight become different. Everything takes time. So that is what is said to be Mardavam. Continuing, more of them are coming. 8 more of the virtues of a saintly nature. Hrihi, being modest. Modest does not mean introvert. Modest is that where a person is able to follow the universal values, which applies to all of them. Giving respect to another person is a universal value. What you respect in another person may vary. If I look at my mother, I respect her for her love, her compassion, her care. Whereas if I look at my brother, for example, I respect him for his brotherliness, his intelligence, or his ability to do things. If I look at my teacher, my guru, I respect him for his knowledge, his ability to teach and inspire. If I look at a leader of a country, I respect him for his ability to take determined actions, ability to stand by his own policies and principles, ability to lead an entire nation towards progress. See, what we respect a person for is different. But respect is a universal law. Okay. So being modest means here not overly projecting yourself in front of others. Modest here means respecting others for what they are worth and not being disrespectful. It is not withdrawing from the world. It is, on the other hand, being in the world, giving due respect to the people according to what they are capable of, what they deserve it to be, what amount of respect they deserve, give that much of respect. Achapalam, not being restless. See, not being restless means I go to sleep. I'm resting, and therefore I'm not restless. Resting is not achapalam. Lazy. No. Physical body expresses the mental restlessness, usually. Some people are very fidgety, moving constantly here and there, cannot sit in one place. It's not the physical body that is restless, it is the mind. Shifting eyes. You've seen some people, when they are talking, they cannot keep their eyes in one place. They look here, there, except your face, they look everywhere while talking. What does it mean? Meaning their mind is running left and right and here and there continuously. They are not able to keep their mind in one place. That's what it shows. So mind being at one place is itself a great sadhana. Ekagrata Chintanam. Doing japa, meditation, chanting the name of the Lord, keeping the mind fixed on the Lord's form or this utterance of the word of the name of the Lord, making sure the mind is tuned to that only and nothing else, keeping only one single thought continuously. These are all the methods by which one can accomplish one pointed attention, mindfulness, and not being restless. So a restless mind can cause restlessness all over the place. A restless mind cannot really productively accomplish anything. In a place where a person of restless mind remains, everything will be in sixes and sevens. It won't be in place. Everything will be here and there because he cannot focus on one thing, keeping the thing in same place. No. His mind is so fickle. Arjuna also asked this question to Krishna. Oh, my mind is so fickle and restless. What should I do? Krishna smilingly said, practice. That is the only way you can practice it. Abhyas karo. And as the mind has to become more and more quiet, the intelligence or intellect has to brilliantly shine. That's called teja, brilliance. It is not a physical beauty. Brilliance is more of developing inner serenity with love. That understanding with the knowledge of the one's own saintliness, one's own sacredness, and extending that saintly nature with love externally. That is the real tejas, the real brilliance. So that's why it is said, the intuitive mind is a sacred gift and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. Albert Einstein. So intuitive mind is a gift. Logic is the servant. We have given so much importance to logic, but not to the intuitive mind. You know, it's the great scientist who said that mind must become intuitive. Intuitive means was in tune with the Lord, in tune with the reality. That is called intuition. In tune with God. In tune with something which is most lofty, most beautiful, most abstract. The greatest physicist has to talk like this. Think about it. His rationality, his logic, he was so well known for that. But he himself has accepted that we have forgotten the innocent child of our heart, which is in tune with the Lord. We have forgotten that intuitiveness. More about it we'll see in the next session. So every one of these virtue which we are talking about, all these virtues are slowly to be developed in us as we grow to become more and more refined. And I hope these what are enumerated are useful to you. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Harihi Om.